Have you ever stood at rock bottom feeling like everything is lost? Listen carefully. Rock bottom is not your ending. It is your turning point. The world may try to break you, but within you lives a strength that cannot be crushed. Nick Vujicic's life is proof that no limitation can stop a heart that refuses to quit. On Motivation Vault, this message is clear: pain is not a cage. It is the fire that forges greatness. You are not buried, you are planted. And from this very place, you can rise stronger, higher, unstoppable. Your new beginning doesn't wait for tomorrow. It begins the moment you decide that you will not give up. Have you ever felt like life has stripped everything away from you, like the ground beneath your feet gave way, and you are left staring at nothing but the wreckage of what used to be your world? That's what rock bottom feels like. It's heavy, it's cold. It's the place where your failures echo the loudest and your doubts scream even louder. And in those moments, it's easy to believe that this is the end, that you've run out of options, that you're finished. But let me ask you another question. What if rock bottom is not the end at all? What if it is the beginning? What if this moment that feels like your greatest defeat is actually the soil where your greatest growth will take root? Human psychology tells us that the mind is wired to fear loss more than it desires gain. That's why when you fall, your brain screams that it's over. But the truth is, when you hit the bottom, you finally find something most people spend their whole lives avoiding: clarity. Think about it. At rock bottom, and there are no distractions, there are no masks to wear, there is no pretending. It is just you and the truth. And while it hurts, there is power in truth. Because once you know where you really stand, you can finally see where you must go. Rock bottom gives you that chance. It strips away the noise so you can't hear your own voice. And here's the most powerful part. Every person you admire, every leader you respect, every success story you've ever heard, they have been where you are. They've walked through the same dark valley. The difference is not that they avoided failure, but that they learned how to stand up when everything in them wanted to stay down. They discovered that rock bottom is not a death sentence, it is a doorway. Now, I want you to hold on to this thought. If you stay with me until the end of this message, you will not only see why your rock bottom moment could be the greatest turning point of your life, but you will also learn the secret successful people use to rise, to communicate with power, and to lead even when they feel broken inside. This is not just about surviving, it's about transforming. If you give me your attention until the end, you will walk away with tools that can change the way you see yourself, your challenges, and your future. So take a breath. This is not the end. It might just be your new beginning. And together, we're going to find out how. The truth about rock bottom is this: it feels like destruction, but in reality, it is exposure. It exposes what is fragile, what is false, and what no longer serves your life. When everything collapses, the illusions collapse with it. And while your heart may call that pain, your mind has been given a rare chance, the chance to rebuild from absolute honesty. Psychologists tell us that the human brain resists change until it is forced. Comfort keeps us stuck, but crisis forces us forward. Rock bottom removes the comfort. It strips away the safety net, and though it feels cruel, it is the very pressure that wakes up the sleeping parts of your strength. Think about the times you've grown the most. Was it when everything was easy, or was it when you were pressed, when you were broken, when you were forced to face yourself without escape? Rock bottom becomes the classroom where resilience is taught. It becomes the fire where your excuses are burned away. Yes, it hurts. Yes, it is heavy. But pain has a purpose when you refuse to let it defeat you. At the lowest point, you are closer to transformation than ever before, because you've lost, you thought you couldn't live without. You realize something powerful: you are still here. And if you are still here, you still have a future worth fighting for. When you stand at rock bottom, everything looks darker, heavier, and impossible. But the difference between those who stay down and those who rise again is not their circumstance. It is their perspective. The human mind has a powerful habit. It magnifies what you focus on. Focus on failure, and failure expands. Focus on loss, and loss consumes you. But the moment you shift your perspective, your reality begins to change. Leaders and successful people understand this truth. They don't deny the pain, but they choose the lens through which they see it. Where most see an ending, they see a beginning. Where most see weakness, they see the seed of resilience. This is not about ignoring reality. It is about creating a stronger one inside your own mind first. Psychology teaches us that our thoughts create emotional states, and our emotional states shape our actions. If you see rock bottom as destruction, you will act defeated. If you see it as transformation, you will act determined. The shift begins not in the world outside, but in the world within. The power of perspective is this: it takes the same set of circumstances and gives them a different meaning. That meaning then fuels a different future. If you can see rock bottom not as a grave, but as the ground where new roots are planted, you unlock the energy to rise. And once your mind changes, your life begins to follow. Pain is not meant to paralyze you. Pain is meant to push you. Everyone carries within it a message, and that message is energy. Most people run from pain or let it drown them, but the strongest learn to use it as fuel. They turn heartbreak into drive. They turn rejection into hunger. They turn every scar into proof that nothing can stop them. From a psychological point of view, pain activates the deepest survival instincts. It sharpens focus. It strips away what doesn't matter. When your heart aches, your mind has a choice. Let the pain crush you or let it carve you into someone unbreakable. Pain is not the enemy. Passivity is. The longer you sit inside the wound without moving, the deeper it traps you. But the moment you convert it into action, the pain becomes power. Think about a tree. The fire that burns also gives light. The same storm that destroys can also cleanse the air. Your suffering can either define your downfall or ignite your rise. It depends on what you decide to do with it. When you feel the weight of pain pressing against you, remember this pressure is what creates diamonds. You are not being bare, being prepared. Every tear, every doubt, every sleepless night is shaping the strength that will carry you forward. The pain you hate today can become the force that builds your tomorrow if you refuse to waste it. When you begin turning pain into fuel, the next step is how you communicate not only with others, but with yourself. Words are powerful. They shape emotions, and emotions shape actions. The way you speak in your darkest hours can either chain you to the ground or lift you toward the sky. Leaders understand that language is energy. They do not use words that drain life. They choose words that create it. Instead of saying, "I'm finished," they say, "I'm just getting started." Instead of repeating, "I can't," they train their mind to whisper, "I will find a way." This shift is not about pretending. It's about programming your own mind to believe in the possibility of rising again. Psychology shows us that self-talk directly affects confidence, resilience, and even physical performance. Negative words feed fear. Positive words build courage. When you communicate with strength, your brain begins to align with that strength and your actions follow. And it doesn't stop with yourself. The way you speak to others in times of struggle also matters. True leaders speak hope when everyone else speaks despair. They create vision when others only see obstacles. They inspire action not by denying the pain, but by declaring the possibility beyond it. Your voice has the power to either silence your future or unlock it. Every word you choose is a seed planted in your mind. Choose words that make you grow. Speak like the person you are becoming, not like the person you were at your lowest. That is how you rise and how you lead. The greatest difference between people who stay broken and those who rise stronger lies in the choices they make in moments of despair. Successful people are not defined by the absence of struggle. They are defined by how they respond to it. Their secret is simple, yet powerful. They reframe every challenge as an opportunity. When life pushes them down, they don't ask, why? They ask, what can this teach me? That single shift in perspective rewires the brain. Psychology calls this cognitive reframing, the ability to assign new meaning to old pain. Where others see defeat, they see education. Where others see rejection, they see redirection. This mindset turns every setback into a stepping stone. Another secret is their discipline over words and thoughts. They guard their inner dialogue fiercely, knowing it shapes reality. They remind themselves that storms are temporary, but the strength they build during storms lasts forever. Instead of filling their mind with doubt, they choose faith, vision, and relentless determination. And perhaps the most powerful secret of all, they influence themselves before they influence anyone else. They lead their own mind before they lead others. This inner mastery is why their outer success looks so unshakable. These are not distant qualities reserved for the chosen few. They are habits that anyone can build, including you. If you can reframe your pain, discipline your words, and master your inner world, then what once looked like the end will transform into the beginning of the life you were meant to live. Now it's your turn. You've seen what happens when people reframe their pain and master their inner dialogue. The truth is, and none of it matters until you decide to apply it to your own life. This is not just about hearing words. This is about choosing to rise. Even when everything in you says to give up, you might feel tired, you might feel broken, but you are not finished. The fact that you are listening right now means you still carry a spark. That spark is all it takes to ignite a fire strong enough to rebuild your life. What you do today, even the smallest step, proof that your story is not over. Psychology shows us that action creates momentum, and momentum builds belief. The first step is always the hardest, but it is also the most powerful. It doesn't have to be big. It only has to be forward. Make the call. Start the habit. Speak the words. Take the step that tells your future, I am not giving up here. I want you to imagine this clearly one day. You will look back on this moment, the one that felt like rock bottom, and realize it was the chapter that rewrote everything. But that only happens if you decide right now to rise. So here is the challenge. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for someone to rescue you. Stand up even trembling. Speak life into your future. Begin again. Your new beginning starts the moment you choose it. Every ending feels permanent when you're standing in the middle of it. But history proves again that endings are often disguises for beginnings. The lowest point is never the last point unless you choose to stop moving. Rock bottom is not your prison. It is your platform. From here, the climb begins. Your future is not written by what you've lost. It is written by what you decide to do now. The past is heavy, but it no longer has the power to chain you unless you keep carrying it. Let it go. Release the weight. And instead of asking, why did this happen to me? Begin to declare, these happened for me so I could rise stronger. The psychology tells us that the brain rewires itself through repetition and action. Every time you speak hope, every time you take one step forward, every time you choose resilience over surrender, you are building a new version of yourself. Brick by brick, choice by choice, you are constructing the person who can handle the future you dream of. So let this be your declaration. Rock bottom will not define me. My response will. My actions will. This moment, as painful as it feels, will become the chapter that proves I was stronger than the storm. Take this truth with you. You are not at the end. You are standing at the threshold of your new beginning, and the world has not yet seen the strength, the courage, and the greatness you are about to unleash. Rise now. Your story is waiting.